Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll show you how to integrate SD Forge and Comfy UI models. We'll cover how to use GGUF, Black Forest Labs Flux Dev models, and Clip Encoders models. I'll also show how easy to use Flux models with Loras and show you a quick way to display Loras thumbnails in the SD Forge workspace. Let's get started. In the previous video, we tried to generate an image using the Flux model NF4 here on the SD Forge WebUI. For the continuation of our video, we will be generating an image using the Flux Dev GGUF model, the Flux Dev encoder model, the clip models, and the Black Forest Labs official release model, the Flux Dev model. The Black Forest model and the other models need a clip and encoder model. Right now, we only have the VAE model. There are no other settings here where we can add the clip model to use with the GGUF and Black Forest models. These are the Loras that we will be using: Natalie Portman SDXL plus Flux and Flux Fantasy Nights. Just visit the Civet AI website to download them. You need an account to be able to download the models. Here are the Loras I've downloaded. By the way, guys, if you want to display a Loras thumbnail here, just save the thumbnail image you want. Let me show you how. First, I'll delete this thumbnail. Visit the website, choose the thumbnail you like, save it. Then go to the Loras directory. In my case, I'll place the Loras in my A1111 WebUI Loras directory because I've integrated my A1111 models with SD Forge WebUI. If you want to learn how, check out my previous video about Flux and SD Forge. I'll put the link in the description section. Place the thumbnail image here. Then copy the name of the Lora and rename the image file to match that name. Let's proceed to generate an image. First, let's move all the downloaded models to the designated directory. I'll put the link in the description section below. These are the models that we will be using: T5XXL model, clip_L model, T5 version 1 encoder model for GGUF, and the Flux GGUF model. Go to the model directory. I'll move them one by one so you can see which folder I place them in. Place the Flux GGUF model to Stable Diffusion model. And these 3 clip encoder models to Text Encoder folder. Now let's check our models. Don't forget to press the refresh icon. Here's the GGUF model, and here are the clip models. Simply pick the clip model you want to use. Let's generate an image using the GGUF model with the clip models. Let's try the T5XXL and clip model first. If we use the GGUF model, we need to set the low bits to automatic FP16 Lora. I will set my GPU weights to 10,500 because I have a 12 gigabytes GPU in my system. The GGUF models requires between 8 to 12 gigabytes of VRAM, so I chose a value in that range. I already have a prompt prepared. Let's just put it here. Natalie Portman, smiling and wearing a pink t-shirt printed with the text, Flux Lore SD Forge. Let's load the Natalie Portman model first to see what the result will be. Set the sampling method to ULayer. Distilled CFG to 3.5, width to 1216, height to 832, batch count to 1, seed to -1, CFG scale to 1. Let's generate first with this setting. Look at the result, guys. We got the Lora image, but the text is quite different. Let me show you the other images generated using this setting and prompt. Then, let's proceed to generate an image with 2 Loras. This image, guys, contains both the keyword and the Loras, just like the rest of the images. Before we proceed to dual Loras, let's generate one more image. This time, let's add some styles. Unlike A1111, SD Forge now has a lot of preset styles to choose from. Let's see which one to use. Let's try this sci-photographic, and then... Okay, let's try this futuristic retro cyberpunk. Let's generate. Let's see if adding a style method will work with the Flux model. Look, guys, our style has been applied. It's amazing. The style method adds more vibrancy to our image. Let's proceed to generate an image now using the Flux Dev model from Black Forest Labs. The Flux Dev model needs a clip encoder model. You'll find the clip encoder model listed here, guys. Just click to select it. Let's use T5XXL and clip_L models. For the low bits, we will use the BNB NF4 FP16 Lora. The FP16 Lora is slower than NF4 on my PC. I'm going to adjust the GPU settings to 11,000. This helps make sure the video card doesn't use too much memory when creating an image. And let me remind you guys, generating images also takes up space on your hard drive. Let's look at the other setting. Set the seed to -1. For those who don't know, setting it to -1 will give a random result for the image after it's generated. Change the sampling step to 25. Now, let's add our prompt here. Let's use 3 Lora model guys. First is Natalie Portman Lora. By the way, guys, some celebrities might not be recognized by Flux anymore, so we need to make sure to emphasize their names. Next, Flux Fantasy and Flux Realism. As I mentioned, we will generate the image with 2 Loras. However, I decided to use 3 instead to include the Flux Realism Lora. The last time I tried, it didn't work until one of the viewers gave me a helpful tip. I tried it again and it worked, thanks to the helpful tip. Flux Dev from Black Forest Labs needs 16 GB of NVRAM. My computer has 12 GB of NVRAM and 16 gigabytes of memory with an NVIDIA RTX 3060. Our image generation now is using 9 GB of GPU NVRAM. Let's check how long it takes to create the image. Look at this, guys. The combination of 3 Loras added and mixed with our generated image. The generated image successfully captures the essence of our model, with minor variations. Let's check our model. See, guys, Natalie Portman face is exactly the same, and the Flux Fantasy result is pretty close to our image. The keyword is a bit off, although the glowing magical sword is correct, but she's holding it the wrong way. Overall, it's still okay. Of course, we need to generate more to get exactly what we want. The AI can't read our mind, right, guys? All right, everyone, let's move on to the GGUF model. We'll use the Q4 GGUF version because the Q8 is running slowly on my system, and I'm still looking for a solution. The Q8 GGUF requires only 8 to 12 gigabytes of NVRAM, so it should work fine with my system. We'll keep the clip encoder model settings as they are. For low-bit configurations, I'll use the automatic FP16 Lora. FP16BN4 isn't working with the Q4 GGUF model right now. Let's set the sampling steps to 25. Let's use the same prompt that we used for our last image. Set the seed to -1. Keep the other settings the same. Everything seems ready. Let's generate and see if 3 Loras work with the Q4 GGUF model. Let's check the image, guys. The Lora style is well copied and she holds the sword correctly, but the hands and face need improvement. Still, the image is impressive. Okay, everyone, the last one is the GGUF models and GGUF encoder model. This took almost 20 minutes on my PC, guys, likely because of the settings. But the image still looks good. I'll show you a time-lapse video to save us time. Then I'll show you how to integrate all the models into Comfy UI and give you a few tips. You can copy the settings and skip this part if you want, guys. Now let's integrate the SD Forge model with Comfy UI. Currently, we have 2 models available in the checkpoint node and 3 models in the UNet node. First, close the UI. Go to the Comfy UI folder. Find the extra model path YAML.example file. Rename it, just delete the word example. Right-click and edit it. But before you do that, make a backup copy. In the base path line, put the path where your SD Forge directory is located. To do this, go to your SD Forge WebUI folder. Right-click and select Copy as Path. Go back to YAML file, paste the path here, and then click Save. Don't use Save As option, guys, just click Save. Many users run into errors because of this simple mistake. Restart Comfy UI. Look, guys, all models are now available in the checkpoint node. However, the Q4 GGUF model is still missing in the UNet node because there is no UNet folder in the SD Forge directory. The GGUF model is located in the Stable Diffusion model folder. To add it to the UNet node, we will create a new folder and name it UNet. But we need to move the model to this folder. But this method is a hassle, especially if the models are in different directories or hard drives. But don't worry, guys, I have a simpler method to use the models with both SD Forge and Comfy UI without doing this. I'll show you later. First, go back to the YAML file. Add this line, UNet, models, UNet, then save the file and restart Comfy UI. Now the Q4 model has been added to the UNet node, and all models are available to all nodes. We can now use all the models with both SD Forge and Comfy UI. What about the clip models? All the clip models are missing, and there's no clip folder in SD Forge directory. We'll use the same method. Create a clip folder and then copy all the clip models from the text encoder folder to the clip folder. Before we do that, let me show you a tip. Go back to the YAML file. Add the line clip, models, clip, then save the file. Instead of moving all the clip models to the clip folder, delete the clip folder, and rename the text encoder folder to clip. Do the same for the stable diffusion model. Rename it to UNet. Now let's restart Comfy UI. Press refresh. Now you'll see that all the models are available in our node. Only do this if you're using Comfy UI. You probably won't use both SD Forge and Comfy UI at the same time unless you have a powerful PC that can handle both. Right, guys? Just rename the folder back to its original name if you plan to use SD Forge. All right, guys, that's all for today's video. If you found it useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the links in the description for additional resources and related videos. Leave any questions or comments below and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.